Alright guys, Dynamite here with new information video about DayZ. What's different? I'm going to be showing you some screenshots from the game. Some new screenshots, some kind of old, but you might not have seen them, so I thought I'd show you them. Most of these are from the DayZ Tumblr. Three at the end I've actually found on another website, which will be right at the end, because I didn't at the end. Yeah, the screenshots will be running in the background as students while I'm talking about the information that has come off the Tumblr, which I will be reading. Mainly, the first thing I want to say, like he says in the Tumblr, this is a mainly work in progress. Some of these might change, although they do look really cool. The interiors, oh yeah, most of these are actually interiors, not out, but there is some because there is a new town. A screenshot of a new town. I can't remember where he says it is. I don't know if it does say where it is, but it does actually contain like a hospital, some barracks, so it will be a high value area once it's added into the game. And another note is the textures from these are normal textures, so not extra very high textures, they're just normal, which is kind of cool. Yeah, some other new things for the whole Chinaris map. They're making a new, not a whole new one, but they're adding stuff. They're calling it Chinaris Plus. They've added some new areas, they've tidied up bugs, and they've rebalanced the placement of ponds and fountains. That's the basic idea for Chinaris Plus, which is kind of cool. Adding new areas. Some new areas for hospitals be kind of good, because the only really areas that can get hospitals is Electro, Cherno, Berezina. And if you want to be staying up north, you kind of want to have a safer place to go to hospitals rather than people with pickaxes trying to kill you. Not pickaxes, axes. Also, there's going to be many types of vehicles, from military helicopters to fire engines, police cars, and all the military and civilian cars in Arma 2. You'll be seeing them in the new standalone. And a big misconception about the standalone is that it's using the Arma 3 engine. That is wrong. He is calling it the Arma 2.5 engine. He's branched it off to make it more optimized for DayZ. Everybody complains about the Arma 2 engine being poorly optimized, which I agree with, definitely. But some of the things I think I remember saying that, for example, zombies, you will notice that you drop frames in like big cities because there's so many zombies. But the main reason is because they've got like bones in the hands. That's mainly because like, or bones everywhere, kind of like. The thing where the bones like are, they're everywhere, and they just don't really need them, to be honest. That's the main thing that's causing lag, because Arma 2 is a combat simulator, so it's got all that simulation in it. Another big news is about the servers. The servers are changing to an MMO like. To be honest, myself, I don't really play any MMOs, but I do kind of know what they are. And I think that will work for DayZ. It's going to definitely work better than how they are now, which I will say. So yeah, finally, the last Tumblr post was titled, "Whatever you say it is, it isn't," which I think is amazing. So now I'm going to be talking about the things I want to be added to DayZ or even taken out. So I'll start with the weapons. I think it should be more Russian-y guns, if Russian is a word. More realistic to what they would have. For example, they more than likely wouldn't have American weapons in the barracks. Maybe some. They'll probably more likely have AKs or whatever gun they use in the wars. I don't know what Russians use. But I think they more use AKMs. And maybe less snipers. For example, taking out the DMRs, the AS50s, obviously, the 50 cals, all 50 cals, obviously. M24s, can't remember what other snipers are. And just stick with the CZ, which would be super rare in the farms. Maybe having the DMR, having super rare in the barracks or something like that. I just think not that high probability that you'd find a military grade sniper in the barracks. But another weapon that should definitely be taken out is the LA5. I think they are actually removing that from the next update, but I'm not too sure. Obviously, the 50 cals, for example, AS50s and M107s should definitely be taken out. Way too powerful and way too unrealistic to find. Yes, there might be crash choppers, but what are the chances of someone, British Armed Forces sniper, being on a chopper which crashed? And if you don't give, for example, hackers, if you take out the AS50s and just have the CZs, the hackers aren't going to have that much fun with them, are they? They're just going to have CZs and like, you have a CZ, I'm not bothered. But with AS50s, it's a one-shot kill, so you kind of do get bothered. And the LA5s, they can see you through forests a billion years away. That made no sense. Another idea that's been asked quite a lot is more animals, for example bears, which can attack you. He is adding dogs, which is awesome, really awesome. That just completely reminds me of I Am Legend, which is one of my favourite movies ever. Obviously more cars, which I talked about earlier, which he is probably adding in. And another idea that I had is the maps. For example, Namlask, Fallujah, Utez, Panthera, all connected into the same map. So if you've seen Frankie in 1080p's videos, he roleplays that he gets on a boat and drives away to Namlask, for example. And how awesome would it be if you could actually do that? With having like 200 people on the server, it would work perfectly. Except for Cherno. I feel sorry for Cherno. There would just be billions of people in there. But it would so be awesome. So yeah, that's some of the things that I have. I just can't really think of any more right now. But please like and subscribe, and peace.